maybe where it's busiest at the moment, the outgoing side. Darwin Nunez is an Al Hilal player now. He gave a goodbye message. This one is a bit strange the way it's been reported. I know you all have clocked this. 46 million, because obviously the exchange people want to list it in euros, then pounds. But add-ons potential that, so, is 65 million euros suggestions, which talk it lands about 56, 57 million. Even talk of a sell-on in there as well. Is that what we're understanding, like add-ons that are likely around 56 million?
Yeah, so that's what I was told. So is that 12 million euros, 10 million pounds in add-ons included in the deal? Yeah, so the max it could end up being is kind of 65 million euros, 56 million pounds, is it? Which doesn't feel too bad, really. It's not a bad deal for a player that you kind of pretty much came into this window wanting off the books and have since kind of, I remember us speaking about this on podcasts halfway through last season, saying that he was going to be sold this summer. So they haven't done too badly, I would say, and that's the helpfulness of the Saudi clubs again. But yeah, looks a decent deal and good for him to be able to go and play football. I'm sure he wanted to play and stick around in Europe, but it's only a 3-year contract he's signed, so maybe there's scope for him to come back pretty soonish as well. So hopefully everyone's kind of won out of that one in the end.
Yeah, and fair play to those who had typed outgoings there instead of outgoings as well, so we changed that quite swiftly there at the same time. And Darwin Nunez, he had a haircut to get a buzz cut, as people call it. This could be the end of the man bun at Liverpool because he was left out the squad yesterday, wasn't he, Kostas Tsimikas? And all the reports then come out. Nottingham Forest keep getting mentioned with him. And in simple terms, Liverpool are never going to run with 3 senior left-backs. We talked about this all summer, but he wants to stay. He's made that clear. It feels like his hand's being forced some element now. It's going to happen at some point, surely.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he sticks around at this point. It's been a bit of a weird one to kind of work out which one of the left backs will go, because that Atletico Madrid interest in Andy Robertson was genuine, and I think he was considering it at that point. But once that kind of fell through, it did feel like, okay, well, if someone else comes for Robertson, maybe he'll consider that. But nothing of a kind of similar ilk has come in from that point. And I think at the start of the summer, we'd have always said that Kostas Tsimikas felt like the most vulnerable in that position, and now there is strong interest in him. That there has been for a while, to be honest. I mean, there was quite a lot of interest in him last summer that didn't get massively reported as far as I saw, but it was definitely there, but never really kind of came to anything. But obviously this summer, it looks like it finally is, and something's going to give at that left-back spot. It had to, as you say. You couldn't have 3 senior left-backs going into the new season, could they? So, it looks like he'll be on his way now, which makes things easier in terms of the rotation, and I think he's been a really, really good servant for Liverpool as well, hasn't he? So he'll be a miss in that regard, but it's right that they need to move one of them on, and Tsimikas arguably the most sellable of them all.
I mean, speaking of departures as well, I mean, there's still others to mention. Got to mention, I remember once I kind of laughed at those Lionesses penalty, if you saw that England versus France, because of how bad they were. Ours really weren't good yesterday, and we're on a fair level across the board. But felt sorry for Harvey Elliott, because at least he stepped up to have a go. All the reports we've had and since, and maybe it's telling that Jurgen Klopp's hugging him in the photo there. Harvey Elliott, good chance he's destined for Red Bull by reports.
Yeah, I've personally not got any information to kind of add to this one, if I'm honest. It looks like it would be a good move for him, and they're certainly in the mix, but I know a few other clubs have been as well. So, I can't really make a kind of firm prediction on this one, but I think what you can firmly predict is that he will depart before the window's out. It's just not going to be enough minutes there to kind of keep him happy, and we've known that for a long while now, really, that as soon as Wirtz was added, really, the writing was completely on the wall, because there's just no possible way really for him to come into the team. So, it looks like he'll be on his way, whether that's Red Bull or not, I'm not sure. But I think that would be a nice move for him, really, to go to Germany, where he'll get a bit more kind of space and time on the ball. Physicality is less important, and if that's the case, then he's a wonderful footballer. So I'm sure he'll do really well there.
Does feel like, it could be a great move for him. And I mean, you had the exclusive on this last week. I think it was West Ham and Wolves, or the W's in the Premier League, had made moves. They just, It's almost like when I used to play Championship Manager when I was 11 and 12, and you transfer listed a player, and there was about 80,000 teams wanted but didn't make a move. The list of suitors for Ben Doak grows. Leeds mentioned, Monaco, others abroad. Surely someone is going to pull the trigger for Ben Doak at around 20 million.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, there's that many clubs interested in him, and genuine interest as well. That it would be amazing, really, if the window ends without him having, made a permanent move somewhere. I think, he showed in pre-season he's a very, very good player, isn't he? He's just not quite Liverpool level, particularly when you think that Liverpool are kind of using Salah there in the position he favours. I mean, he's not Salah class, and that's not doing him down at all. So yeah, there's big interest now, and I would think that I'm not entirely sure which of these options he's going to end up at, but I think he will end up at one of them. That's for certain. And if Liverpool can get around 20 million, I think it could be just slightly lower than that, but anything in and around that, they'll be happy with.
And I suppose I should ask you to kind of finish the incomings and outgoings part, because a few mentioned it in the chat panel. If indeed Diaz, Nunez, Doak, Elliott, Chiesa, that's 5 attacking players. Do you think that could sway Isak and another? If they all do depart, Liverpool might look and go, okay, across the board, the minutes we could lose, maybe we do need another.
But how many minutes is that, is the question. I mean, it's not very many, is it, really, from last season at all, to be honest. You think Elliott's midfield minutes, well, Nioni's now part of that rotation. You've got Wirtz has been added to it as well. There's already Endo, Jones, McAllister, Gravenberch, Szoboszlai. That is an awful lot of midfielders. And for me, Nioni, he already feels kind of miles away from League Cup minutes when you list them all out like that. But I want him to be playing games. So, with Elliott, you're not going to miss that. With Chiesa, 500 minutes was it in total last season? Just not relied upon at all in any serious way. And Doak wasn't even at Liverpool last season. So I just can't see how that is used as justification to add someone, to be honest. And I feel that that's how Liverpool see it as well.